You're watching My 9 News, winner of the 2010 Emmy Award for Outstanding Evening Newscast. Now, Brenda, Harry, Audrey, and Russ. This is My 9 News.
The fallout from Arizona's new illegal immigrant law is spreading. Protests are mounting, and President Obama has offered the Justice Department to see if it's legal. William LaJeunesse reports on the bill that has the whole country talking.
The fight over Arizona's immigration law now moves from the state capitol, where swastikas were smeared on the windows last night, to the courts, where the first challenge may come from the city of Phoenix, which is considering suing on grounds the law is unconstitutional.
But to then say that Phoenix, Arizona, and the state, by going into kitchens and hotel rooms and arresting maids and dishwashers, is going to keep this city and state safe. In fact, it's going to do the opposite.
The ACLU also says it will sue. The Obama Justice Department is reviewing its options, and this weekend, opponents called for a business and tourist boycott of the Grand Canyon state. Critics say the law violates the Constitution's Supremacy Clause, which gives the federal government sole authority over immigration, and violates 14th Amendment guarantees of equal protection by singling out one racial group. Arizona police insist that's simply not true.
What's crucial in this bill, in this legislation, is like any other crime, there needs to be reasonable suspicion.
Analysts say Arizona is doing what Washington failed to do, tackle illegal immigration. But Arizona is not alone on the issue. 4 other states are now said to be considering laws that would require police to ask for identification if they believe a person is in the United States illegally. In Los Angeles, William LaJeunesse, My 9 News.
Joining us now to take on the topic of Arizona's new immigration law signed into effect last week by Governor Jan Brewer are civil rights attorney Gilberto Garcia, who is opposed to the new law, and Gayle Kesselman, co-chair of New Jersey's Citizens for Immigration, who is in favor. Let's start off with the Rasmussen Report survey just out, finding 60% of voters favor the law, 31% oppose it. Let's hear from you, first of all, Ms. Kesselman. How do you feel about those statistics?
Well, I think the people of Arizona have spoken. I commend the legislators. I commend the governor. This is obviously what the people of Arizona want. The illegal immigration problem has developed over decades. It has only gotten worse with time, and the federal government has done nothing. It's a failure on the part of both political parties.
Mr. Garcia, your reaction to the Rasmussen poll?
Everybody should know that immigration is a federal crime. Being an illegal alien in the United States is a federal crime. However, it's something that is derivative. It usually happens when you get caught. For example, you could get caught committing another crime, and you could be charged with being in the United States illegally.
So the critics say the law is unjust and racist. Do you think that's the case?
There's no doubt about it. The crime is trespassing, illegal immigrants trespassing, and the Arizona legislature defines criminal trespassing, but in this case, the trespassing that's criminal is simply being an illegal alien.
Mr. Garcia, Senator John McCain called the bill a good tool for law enforcement, but he isn't really sure the law is legal. Your reaction to that?
His daughter doesn't agree with it. She said it today. My point being, the law has language that creates issues of unconstitutionality, and what's going to be the standard of what a reasonable suspicion is, and what's a reasonable approach to a person that you believe is an undocumented alien, and you're going to make requests for documents from that person.
Police cannot just go around detaining people, arresting people. The police have to have reasonable suspicion with everything.
Now, and what is that? Tell me what reasonable suspicion is.
I'll give you an example. Let's say you have someone who is stopped for a traffic violation. That's
perfectly legal.
May I finish? That person doesn't speak English. That person does not have a valid ID. That person does not have an Arizona driver's license.
That's my mother. That's my mother, and she's a citizen of the United States.
Well, I think that.
And if you arrest her, I will sue you.
I think that.
And you have committed a civil rights violation.
Yeah, well, that's why the law is unconstitutional. I'd like to have my civil rights be able to say that in that situation, a policeman or any reasonable person would be able to have some suspicion as to whether that person is in the country legally, is an American citizen or a legal resident, or whether they're here illegally.
Ms. Kesselman, do you think the bill will foster any sort of anti-immigrant sentiment?
I certainly don't think so, and that accusation is wearing a little thin.
Do you think Arizona's bill is going to force President Obama and the Congress to tackle immigration on a federal level? Mr. Garcia?
Without a doubt, Congress now has to regroup and take immigration law reform as a priority. The government is going to have to do something about it.
I would hope that the federal government would finally take on this issue instead of kicking it to the curb for another decade or so. And I think the way they can start is by securing the border and enforcing the laws that are on the books. That's the way to start.
Gayle Kesselman with NJ Citizens for Immigration Control and civil rights attorney Gilberto Garcia. Thank you both for helping us take on this hot-button issue.